And I'm going to go through here the fifth lifestyle habit, toxins and mood. Lots of data that shows correlations between BPA found in plastics, heavy metals, pesticides, and anxiety and depression. Okay, so while we can't easily make causative associations, we know there are a lot of correlations. So what do we do about that? Minimize your exposures. Here are 3 high-yielding things you can do. Use non-toxic products, including personal care products, cleaning products, furniture that you bring into your home. Buy things that aren't bringing more toxins into your home, because these things don't stay put. We actually breathe them in. When we touch them, they get in through the skin. When you buy conventional raised food with pesticides and herbicides, you ingest them through the GI tract. There's a great website called the Environmental Working Group. It's the ewg.org. And that's a great resource for starting to find non-toxic personal care products and cleaning products. Eat organic as much as possible. And I highly recommend getting a HEPA air filter and a water filter. Ideally, if you can get a reverse osmosis filter, that's going to be the best. It's going to remove the most contaminants. Okay, let's talk about herbs and supplements here. So lavender is wonderful. It's very calming, and there is actually some science behind this. There was a study, small study, looking at 9 healthy adults. They didn't have sleep problems, but once they fell asleep, they diffused lavender in the room, and when they woke up, the people who got lavender actually said that their sleep quality was better and they had more daytime vigor. I think we all need more daytime vigor. So, this is an oil that can be extracted when you get it as an essential oil form. It's been known to shift brain waves to delta waves, which correlate with better sleep. How do you, and it also does bind receptors. So it does have a biological effect on the brain. You can get the essential oil and put it topically on your lip, so you can breathe it as you're sleeping. You could put it on your pillow. You could diffuse it. Try it and see if it works. It's a low risk tool that I think a lot of people will really enjoy. Ashwagandha is another one of my favorites. This can also be called Indian ginseng. It's an adaptogenic herb that supports our adrenal glands. Adrenal glands are involved in helping us cope with day-to-day stresses, whether it's physical stress or emotional stress. And so ashwagandha can help people who are anxious and stressed and can't sleep. There was another meta-analysis of 12 different studies that showed using ashwagandha led to less anxiety and less stress. And this is one supplement that can help you sleep through the night. So if that's the problem you're having, you fall asleep fine at the beginning of the night, but you can't stay asleep, ashwagandha can be helpful. I take it for at least 4 to 8 weeks before deciding if it's going to work for you or not. Lots of other supplements out there for anxiety and depression. There's not a lot of data. Some of them can be harmful. I don't really like St. John's wort, can affect the liver. Some of these here, 5-HTP, SAMe, increase serotonin levels. So if you're on other antidepressants, you can have too much serotonin, and that could be dangerous. CBD, THC, derived from the hemp plant, can unmask some psychiatric symptoms that we'd rather not doing. So be cautious, be careful. Don't just go out and buy everything and try it. Work with a provider who can guide you. I really like saffron. It's you can actually, I co-facilitate a mental health group over at Stanford, and one of the things that I've learned from my colleague is that you take saffron threads, maybe about 5 or 6 of them, and put them into like milk or a plant-based milk at night, and you drink it, and that has an antidepressant effect. It's also helpful for sleep. So that's kind of a fun one. Let's talk about acupuncture and Chinese medicine. I think this is an underutilized tool for mental health. I do practice Chinese medicine and acupuncture mainly. I find it to be really helpful in reaching symptoms that Western medicine can't. So if your mood is not being adequately treated with your medications, keep taking your medications and then add on some of these things we're talking about here. So, and acupuncture is a form of energy medicine. It's about balancing the chi in your body. And in this picture, you can see these lines, and each line is a meridian or a highway where energy flows. And by putting in a needle, you're basically bringing attention to this meridian where energy is flowing, and then your body does that fine tuning of the energy. So Chinese medicine isn't just acupuncture. It's also herbs, cupping, moxibustion, lots of different techniques. And there are studies that show that acupuncture actually can help change cortisol levels. It can change the tone of your autonomic nervous system. So it can actually change heart rate variability. It can take you from being kind of in fight and flight to being in the relaxation response. So acupuncture is really powerful, and many insurance plans now cover it. And so I would highly recommend you looking into whether or not this is an option for you. So many studies backing up the effects of acupuncture. However, I will say the data is not as strong as we would like it to be. It's really hard to do acupuncture research because it's hard to have controls. They try with using sham acupuncture needles or putting the acupuncture needles outside of the acupuncture point. You're still having an effect by those attempts to create a control group. So there's a huge meta-analysis here of 32 studies that showed positive results for anxiety. And I can tell you, oftentimes I'd have a patient who would come in so amped up, so anxious, where I couldn't even have a conversation with them. And they didn't even come in for acupuncture. They were in just for like a follow-up visit with me. And I would put one needle at an acupuncture point at the top of the head. And within a minute, they would calm down, right? So that's much more than a placebo effect. At least 70% of people actually respond to acupuncture. So it's a wonderful tool. Other studies have shown that acupuncture is really effective for lowering the severity of depression compared to controls. The quality of the evidence in this study was low. And here's another 2 Chinese studies that showed acupuncture along with moxibustion, which is an herb called mugwort that's added on to acupuncture, was actually effective for depression. And the benefits persisted far beyond the acupuncture treatments, even at 3 months. Okay, so a couple of other things I want to add on. Light therapy is actually underutilized. There are these light devices that you can get. So why does this matter? We actually think about this. Think about how you go through a day. When the light goes down, what do you do at home? You turn on your home lighting, right? So now you're getting exposed to light when your brain really just wants to be in darkness because it wants to turn on that nighttime physiology, but it can't. Because you have lights on, you're looking at a screen. That's another source of light. We also have sunshine deficiency. We're not going out and getting sun on our faces and on our skin. So we have to start thinking about how to have a better relationship with light. These light boxes or light devices can help SAD, which is seasonal affective disorder. This is the time of the year when people start really feeling the low mood come up as our days get shorter and shorter. And for people whose circadian rhythms are off, these light devices can be really helpful. So you want to basically get light early in the day. And this study showed an hour of light a day early in the day actually improved depression scores. So here's what you're aiming for. You want to get a device that shoots out 10,000 lux, and you want to hang out in front of it for about 30 minutes in the morning. Okay. You can be sitting there, having breakfast or doing something else, but you need to let that light come in through your eyeballs. And there's another kind of light therapy, right? Just going outside. Sunshine works too. Go outside, get natural light on you, whether it's sunlight, whether it's an overcast day, it all still works. Aim for at least 30 minutes before 10 a.m. This recommendation of 10 a.m. is not scientific. I've made it up. I think it's a good guideline because it gets us out early enough. You're welcome to do much more than 30 minutes. So if you have work meetings, could you take them from outdoors? You don't have to be under the sun. You could be in the shade, but you still have natural light bouncing around you. This helps with resetting your circadian rhythms. It helps with getting better sleep at night. All right, that was a lot. I don't want you to do all of it, but I want you to do 2 or 3 things that we talked about. It's always great to have a little notebook where you can start writing things down, taking notes about what you're doing for your health. And if you keep showing up and learning with us, you'll go far. Think about where you could be in 6 months to a year if you continue showing up and doing the things we talk about. It makes a difference. I've never seen somebody engage with the things I've talked about and do worse. Never, not one time. And all of these things are going to help you do better with your MS medications. They're going to help you do better with your anxiety and depression medications. Hopefully you'll experience less side effects and you'll just have more joy and get through your day better quality of life. I think that's, at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. Like, are we able to participate in our life in a way that we want to show up for ourselves?